Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle book review of Kirby, King of Comics by Mark Evanier. Now this is the Flexi bound anniversary edition. It's got Neil Gaiman there, introduction by, and it's from AbramsComicArts. They bring out loads of brilliant books. I love their books, I must admit. This is newly revised and expanded, as it says there. It's got about 236 pages. The original had about 226, I think. I haven't got a copy, so I can't compare it. It was a lot bigger. I remember it being a lot bigger. So you can see the general sort of size. There's my hand there and the size there. Obviously, got a lovely picture of the Hulk. Very unusual. Obviously, got the Hulk in the grey form on the cover. An unusual choice, however. So let's just go through it. Nice quality paper. To me, actually, it's some ways feels like a sort of like Jack Kirby collector book, maybe an obviously extended version, but it's just slightly like that, has that feel to it for me. However, you've got Galactus there, a real impressive one. I have no idea who that character is there. I'm certain there is an explanation somewhere on one of the pages. You've also got, obviously, I love that. You love those sort of lovely photo collage images, very impressive. I've done it drifting in the limitless world, etc., etc. And there's all the details, obviously, of the book there. And you've got some covers as well. And then there's all the various things there. Introduction, preface, acknowledgements afterwards, and all those sort of things. You can see the general gods on earth, face in front, etc. So you've got the introduction, then into the actual book. Let's just go through to the book. In the street. So it starts really right at the first stages. And you've actually got a lovely, this one, Street Code. Really beautiful. It's really great seeing his pencils. I must admit, it's always impressive seeing pencils of any artist, actually. It's always just, and it's really wonderful, of course, seeing Jack Kirby's work. Again, that's why it sort of reminds me a bit of the Jack Kirby Collector. Brilliant, massive, big double page spread there. Absolutely glorious. And you've got also the early bits when he was working, a little bit of film studio there. You've got, obviously, a fairly famous character that I don't think I need to mention. And also you've got lots of examples of early work as well. And you can actually see here, obviously by Bob Brown, it says here, by Jack Curtis Summers. And you've got there, so you've got the Black Buccaneer, Abdul Jones, Socko the Sea Dog, Diary of Dr. Hay. So there's a lot. And I imagine there were vast amounts more that were never collected into this sort of book, or perhaps never been collected. Who knows? You've got here Champion Comics, Marvel Comics, of course. Now, anyway, did he do any work in Marvel Comics #1? Not certain. But of course he did do some work for Captain America #1 comics, and of course dramatic wow wham, obviously hitting Adolf Hitler right across the face. And of course you've got some lovely artwork there. Now if only Marvel would produce their books, omnibus editions, maybe in this style instead of their glossy pages. I think a lot of people would probably like that. There's a lot of people don't like the sort of carefully cleaned up versions. I'm not really. However, one thing I didn't know, well, until recently, was that Captain Marvel. So you've got a lovely example there. And of course, you've got lots of other ones. Newsboy there. The Newsboys, I should say, Legion. I love those. But obviously, I didn't get the original Star Spangled comics, though I have picked up a few Star Spangled comics over the years. But I saw them in the 100-page Giants. And as soon as I saw them, I just loved them. Just absolutely classic stories. Adventure Comics, Boy Commandos as well. Brilliant. Lots of photos. Of course, more examples here. Boy Explorers. I don't know what that one was. Maybe that was My Date, Boy Explorer. Again, lots and lots. Just so much work. So many great. Black Magic, Young Love. All these sort of ones that were done after the war in the 1950s. You've got obviously the romance, all those sort of things. Crime, and many very unusual ones. The Cat People. Sort of reminiscent of the film, I think, there. However, Hot Box, Fighting American. And there's been quite a few, of course, massive volumes of reprints that have come out recently with these sort of ones. So they're worth checking out. Absolutely brilliant superheroes ones, crime, horror, etc. The Simon and Kirby ones. Absolutely brilliant books. Lots more examples of superb artwork there, all the way through. Of course, there's Jack Without Joe, then you've got the Sky Master period, and again some fine examples of that. Of course, you've got Strange Worlds, of course, Atlas Comics, etc. And also this one, I loved the story about Classics Illustrated. Obviously, he wasn't too happy about that one, but still quite a reasonable piece of artwork there. Last Days of Pompeii, I would have bought that one quite happily. However, course, everyone knows this one, the classic Fantastic Four, and it's just changed comics, of course, same as Captain America #1. I mean, really dramatic Captain America, likewise with the Fantastic Four, of course. And then, of course, other examples there. I love the use of one of these, obviously the Molecule Man cover, and just example after example of just absolute classic work all the way through. I love these ones, obviously the Inhumans there, and Black Bolt, and of course some slight redesigns there. Not certain that one would have worked. That Thor looks, to me personally, a bit messy, but still, that's obviously a cover design. Now I found this book slightly odd, because it breaks it up occasionally. You're going along, you've got the story, you've got obviously all the details, etc., and you've got that. But what happens occasionally, suddenly you just get this stuck in there, and it sort of breaks the text up. So you've got cover design, and it's got a few other sections like collage and those sort of things as well, all the way through it. Case just seems very odd. However, it's got all, of course, the antagonisms, the problems, etc., that obviously was late in the Marvel Comics, where, and you obviously got Silver Surfer, the changes, etc. Obviously, Jack Kirby's classic character, the changes that were made, etc. So there's clearly issues. And then, of course, going to DC, and you've got all the issues behind there as well. Jimmy Olsen, etc. Loads of great pencil work, artwork there. Collage, and again, like I say, just breaks it up with these sort of sections. It's fine, but it just seems odd and just seems to outplay sometimes. It's sort of, but New Gods, lovely. I love that. I had that one. Forever People, Mr. Miracle, Commandy. I love Commandy. Commandy, one of my favourites. I've got the omnibus edition now. Just brilliant. So that's just Sandman. Read that recently, the omnibus edition. Did buy them at the time. The Mad Bomb, absolutely brilliant. Eternals had that one. Unfortunately, got rid of that one. Shouldn't have done, but however, of course, haven't seen the film yet. I'm certain the film, it's absolutely great. Is it out yet? It is out, I'm certain. I don't know. No idea. I haven't been to the cinema recently, so I have no idea. Devil Dinosaur, etc. There's just loads of just superb artwork all the way through this book. This is just absolutely brilliant book all the way through. And of course, it's got a lovely index at the back, which is always useful in any book. I love indexes. So that's it. I think it's however, I did read the Kirby graphic novel, and that was superb. Was it better than this? I think actually it was better than this. Personally, I think this is still pretty amazing and really brilliant fun. And I'd be happy to buy many books about Kirby with obviously lots and lots of examples. And this book is thoroughly enjoyable and will be now a permanent part of my collection, instead of deciding, oh, I'm going to get rid of all these books. Quite often I do that. So, but this one, Kirby King Comics, definitely a totally recommended, brilliant book.